Hey everybody, it's Captain Sam McGinley with Shurhold Industries, and today I've got another great clean and simple tip for you. And today we're going to try to break down all the differences between the variety of waxes that you see at your local boating goods store. There are so many choices available, and there's a lot of disparity about what's going to be the most effective for your boat. And today we're going to kind of dive into that and see what the best choice is for you. So let's get started.
Shurhold, clean and simple.
All right, so one of the first options we're going to talk about are the wash and wax combinations that you see. Now these chemicals are usually liquid and they're designed to both wash the boat and add a layer of protection at the same time, something like this we have here. I went ahead and already washed this area with this product, and we'll test everything at the end to see how effective they are. But in my opinion, wash and wax combinations are really not a great choice because they contain no actual level of protection from what we can tell. When they're applied to the surface, the goal of anything is to add a sacrificial barrier to the top of the gel coat to take away any of the fallout from the environment, from salt, from UV damage. And the wash and wax combinations, while they clean well, do not seem to protect the boat in any significant way. Now, the next style of product we're going to look at are called cleaner waxes. Now, a cleaner wax's goal is to both compound and wax the surface at the same time. It contains an aggregate in it to actually affect the surface, polish out the gel coat, and add a layer of wax protecting the boat. And that sounds amazing, but what we've found is that it struggles to do both jobs very, very well. You have a compound and a wax both competing to try to do different jobs, because the compound is there trying to cut the gel coat and the wax is trying to protect the gel coat. So they're very messy, and unless you polish them all the way down, they can actually leave small scratches in your gel coat unless you actually finish the buffing process. Additionally, most of these products contain a large amount of talc, which is a heavy powder-like substance that acts as a filler, and again leaves a huge mess, fills up the rags quite quickly, and makes the job a lot harder than I think it has to be. I would rather use a dedicated compound followed by a traditional wax to protect it, but that choice is yours. It adds a decent layer of protection. Again, we will test that in just a second. Moving on from there, we're going to discuss a product called paste wax. Now, paste wax are the original form of protection. That was the first type of product that was developed to actually protect the gel coats and paints in the world, in boats and cars and RVs. They are very good at protecting the surface. They have a great layer of protection. They form a high build, it's topical, it's physical in the way that they protect the surface. The issue that we have with them is that they are very, very difficult to use in the sense that they have a long cure time. When you lay it onto a surface, they're very thick. It requires you to work very hard to buff it in the surface, and then you have to kind of measure how long it needs to be on the surface to cure and then dry before you can buff it off. If you get the timing right, it comes off relatively easy. If you get the timing wrong, what ends up happening is it almost bakes onto the surface and requires lots of elbow grease to remove, which means waxing a boat or a car can take a long period of time and be a very difficult job. Again, great layer of protection, but we believe there are better options. Now, our company's product, Pro Polish, is our version of a wax, and it's actually technically a polymer sealant. And what does that mean? It means our product forms a chemical bond with the surface, a nice thin layer of heavy protection that'll last 3 to 4 months, and it goes on super easy. So we're talking the same level of protection as any other high quality wax on the market, but without the hardness of use. All you have to do is wipe it onto the surface and then almost immediately buff it off with a clean microfiber towel, or if you're working in large areas, you can use our dual action polisher to apply it. This leads to fantastic results without any of the heavy elbow grease associated with something like a paste wax. All right, now that we've discussed the differences between the variety of choices that you have available to you, let's see if the results actually stack up. So we're going to put a little water on here and see what actually ends up beating the best. Now, if we take a look at the end results here, we can see that the wash and wax combination is offering almost no beating whatsoever. The cleaner wax is offering some decent beating, and the paste wax and the Pro Polish are offering very good beating. But remember, Pro Polish was super easy to apply as opposed to what you should expect when using a typical paste wax. So you can make the choice for yourself, but I believe that Pro Polish is probably the best choice for you as far as ease of use and quality protection. And that's it. If you have any other questions about Pro Polish or any of our products, please visit us at Shurhold.com. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And until next time, we're here to help keep your boat clean and simple.
Come on, guys. They already know to subscribe. Let's keep this nice and clean.